Hello, you're listening to episode 7 of the Sandler Files. Today, me and my co-host Jeremy Conte watched Joe Dirt and Joe Dirt 2, David Spade's masterpieces.
Why do you sound so angry?
Because I'm pissed.
Oh, you got it? Okay, sure. Was Uncle V Vanilla Ice this whole time?
You want a piece of me?
This is me. This is how I win.
Okay, that's probably good. All right. We're recording.
Oh yeah.
This is a mess. It's like Joe Dirt 2.
Have fun editing this.
Will do.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to the Sandler Files. This is episode 7. I'm Jeremy Conte.
And I'm Max Dreesen.
Max, over the past 2 days, we have been catching up on the franchise that everyone has been talking about post-quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Dirt, starring David Spade. Also,
That's right, Jeremy.
Also, this is our rain episode of the podcast. We're trying a new ASMR thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely not raining
It's not
outside.
just because it's raining in the only
That's
place
on
we can
purpose.
record. This is on purpose.
Yeah.
It's called aesthetic.
It's probably nice, actually.
It might be calming, but our voices probably ruin it.
Yeah, so let's talk about Joe Dirt.
Okay, we watched Joe Dirt 1 and 2. Joe Dirt 1 came out in like 2001 or something, and Joe Dirt 2 came out in 2015.
On Crackle.
It's a Crackle original. If you haven't heard of Crackle,
I've never heard of a Crackle original before.
Crackle is Sony's free streaming service
I didn't know it was
with
Sony's.
ads. Like, it's ad supported. It's pretty cool, like, because it's free, but yeah, their originals are... Well, I mean, they could be good. Maybe Joe Dirt 2
We don't know.
is good.
You're going to have to wait until the review of Joe Dirt 2.
Do we have the review music still when we jump into the actual...
We do. Let's play it.
Play it. I'm gonna fly.
Mountain 2 feet.
Okay,
Go mountain high.
Max, the bit's done. The bit's...
I can
okay.
see everything.
We've lost our minds.
Let's talk about Joe Dirt 1.
Joe Dirt 1, let's say this.
Yeah.
It was better than I was expecting.
Joe Dirt 1 ain't bad.
I didn't mind it.
I can
at all.
understand why
I can
people
see
like
why
Joe Dirt.
someone would be like, yeah, I'd want to watch another of those. It's very
Yeah.
interesting.
I wouldn't recommend it
No.
per se, but sitting through it
it's-
wasn't terrible. I enjoyed what was happening.
If it's 2 a.m. and you're at someone's house and you're all eating food and you don't want to pay attention to a movie really and you want to put something on, go for Joe Dirt. It's pretty interesting and weird.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it's good because it's not funny. I didn't really laugh.
No.
But it has really quick pacing. Like, it doesn't
Yeah.
dwell on anything too long.
And Joe Dirt's a likable guy in this.
Exactly.
As well. He's a good character for it to be focused around.
So the premise is you follow this guy named Joe Dirt who tries to call himself Joe Dirtè because people make fun of his name because his last name is literal dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And basically he's down on his luck constantly.
He's living in L.A.
Everyone...
Okay, the door just opened.
Why does it only do this when we record?
I'm putting the beanbag in front of him.
Cool, you put the beanbag on the dirt.
Problem solved. The Joe Dirt.
The Joe Dirt! Okay, so everyone... He's really... You can cut parts of that, please.
Okay. So he's working as a janitor.
Yeah, he's
at a
very
radio
down on his
station
luck.
in L.A. Yes.
Everyone hates him.
Yeah.
And yes, he's at a radio station. And so this guy is like, look at this loser. This is like 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, look at this loser. Let me invite him. Let's just put him on the air and see
Yeah.
what happens.
It was like this. I don't know the actor's name. I think he's a well-known guy. But he's playing like this Howard Sternish radio host guy.
Yeah.
Who brings him on the radio just to make fun of him.
And so that's our framing device for the story where he tells his life story through this radio show and he comes back day after day and people get more invested in it.
Yeah. Which is interesting. That's
It's an
better than just
interesting
telling
premise.
a story.
Yeah, I liked it. And it was cool to see, like, that is growth for him, that everyone's making fun of him and, like, this guy's an idiot. He's such a white trash loser. And then people kind of get invested in his story and he becomes kind of this, like, folk hero.
Yeah, right.
I didn't mind that. Like, I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah. It's a well-made film. It's like a movie.
Yeah, it's very Forrest Gump, but like it kind of knows that, and it's not necessarily a problem. It's interesting to watch this character. Like I said, it's not funny, but you said it well, where you kind of root for Joe Dirt in a weird way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Well, they really make him the underdog.
David Spade plays him 100% like sympathetic and straight. Like there's no... I don't know, it didn't feel like he was kind of like winking at the audience, like, look how dumb this guy is.
Yeah, it seemed like he was actually playing a character.
Yeah, so I can appreciate elements of the movie. It's at its core probably like a lot of these comedies. It's a kind of a love story. It's the guy gets the girl.
Yeah.
Is kind of the point. But there's some interesting growth along the way. Part of his journey in the whole movie is he's trying to find his parents.
Yeah, that's essentially it. His parents
His
abandoned
quest.
him when he was 8 years old at the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And his whole life, he's like, I want to find out who my parents are.
And near the end, he finds them,
Yeah.
and they're not what he had hoped.
They're
and
jerks.
And it's like, there's a lot of... It wasn't too bad. I thought there's a lot of cool little twists like that. It had an actual story that was
That's the best we can ask for.
and it managed to do that story while having, like, kind of, like you've said before in these Adam Sandler movies, like, just, like, bits. Like, it did that hard thing that not all of these movies can do, where it tied them together very well.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
that's a good way to put it. Like, it managed to do that well, actually.
Yeah, so Joe Dirt has 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. I think that's pretty low.
I feel it should be like a 50.
Yeah, it's good. Not good. It's better than
It's
most
fine.
of the stuff we've watched.
It's a legitimate movie.
It felt like
Yeah.
a breath of fresh air. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went in expecting the worst, and I was like, this is pretty solid. So yeah, Joe Dirt, give it a watch. You're probably not gonna, or don't give it a watch. I don't care. But you're not gonna.
If David Spade interests you, go watch it.
You're not
Probably
gonna laugh.
his best movie.
Probably, but if you're with some friends and you're wanting to watch a dumb movie, it'll be kind of entertaining. I guess it's something to put on.
Yeah.
What would you rate Joe Dirt 1 out of 10?
On the Spade scale,
Are we doing how many scales do we need?
you need one for each actor.
Okay, on the Spade scale, or just as a movie, you could do that too.
9 on the Spade scale.
Okay.
As a movie, 5 out of 10.
Okay, I'd give it, and it's a nothing on the Sandler because he's like not. There's nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't
really.
appear in it. It's just Happy Madison produced.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9 on the Spade scale as well. I think I'd give it a 6 on the
Okay.
the overall movie scale, and Christopher Walken's in it, and I
yeah,
love
right.
his performance.
It's the best part.
He's the best part of this movie easily. So yeah, it's a fun little time. Joe Dirt, pleasantly surprised. Don't have too much to say about it, but nice little Sandler-y package with David Spade as the leading man.
That's right.
What about Joe
Dirt.
Dirt 2?
What's the tagline for that one?
It's called Joe Dirt 2 Beautiful Loser.
Yeah. Well, if you like Joe Dirt, this is not the movie for you.
Yeah, if you liked anything about Joe Dirt, maybe don't watch this. Or if you like movies or feeling sane,
Yeah.
maybe don't watch Joe Dirt 2 because it sucked. I'm sorry.
This is I don't understand what we just watched.
How we watched this one today, by the way. We watched Joe
Yeah,
Dirt
we
yesterday.
just finished watching this.
How long was it? Do you remember?
Hour 46 minutes.
I felt like I was sitting on that couch for 4 hours.
It felt like days.
I know
Yeah.
we took a break at one point because we
Yeah.
couldn't take it.
I just remember the first time we checked how far into the movie we were. It was like 20 minutes in, and there was like still over an hour left.
I thought we had easily watched an hour.
I thought
an
it was
hour and a
almost
half
over at that point. Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Okay, so Joe Dirt 2.
Yeah, hit us with the plot.
It begins with the radio host from the first movie. He's hanging out with 2 other guys.
Outside a gas station in the middle of nowhere for no reason.
and they're just telling jokes, and then he starts going, "Oh, well, here's another story about Joe Dirt."
And then
It goes into another framing for the story.
yeah, where Joe Dirt is on a bench. This time they're like, yeah, we're Forrest Gump. They're shameless about it.
Yeah.
He's on a bench, and he talks to a stranger, and he's like, hey, you want to hear what happened to me after my first story that got famous? So it's like,
They introduce a new story, which then fades into anher introduction
To
for
another
a
new story.
Which is a framing device for the whole story, and then every once in a while you cut back to the radio host.
But you rarely
It's
cut
so
back to
rare.
the radio host. A lot of the times you cut back to the bench. You very rarely.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I don't even Wait, was the bench real? Where does the bench fit into the timeline?
No, the bench is real because
think about it for a second.
Because then the movie catches up with the bench, and then when the Joe Swanson angel approaches him, when he finds out he's an angel, that's after the bench. Remember the lady, her bus arrives?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So the bench was in the 70s. By the way, okay, let's talk
Yeah.
about the plot of this a little bit.
No, the bench wasn't in the 70s. Bench was like modern.
Was he already caught up?
time.
I can't follow the timeline of this movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's crazy.
Because here's what happens.
Oh right, yeah, they don't even know there's time travel.
Yeah. So that sounds like a joke. So it starts off after the end of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Once we get our 2 framing devices, Joe narrates his story.
Yes.
It starts off at the end of the first one. He's married his love interest from the first one, Brandy, and they have 3 kids in one of the longest birthing scenes ever, which is when for me it hit that this was going to be truly terrible.
Yeah, when it just kept going on.
It was like a 7-minute scene.
That's what most scenes are in this.
Yeah.
It's just like a 7 to 8 minute dialogue between 2 characters.
And it's just shot reverse shot. There's nothing
Yeah.
interesting to look at. It's
No.
just... Yeah, so he marries Brandy. They have 3 kids. Everything's going okay. And then we get our inciting incident in this movie, which is just some brilliant Shakespearean, Martin Scorsese-level dramatic writing. Joe gets a job as a lumberjack, and everyone on the lumberjack rig does not like him.
So they fart on him.
They fart on him for like 5 straight minutes. And I don't mean 5 straight minutes in the world of the movie. I mean 5 straight minutes of viewer time.
Like your eyes closed that whole
Because
time.
I'm repicturing it. It was
Yeah.
like in universe it was like 30 minutes, so I guess they did skip a little bit of it
Yeah.
for us. But it's so long.
It's
And
like,
then
is this going anywhere? It's just they just keep one other guy keeps coming up and going, oh, wait for this one. Oh. And he's like, oh, that smells terrible. Oh, I got one ready. It's,
oh, did you eat sauerkraut for dinner last night?
It's that for so long, and it's so unfunny.
It's not good.
And then his kids and wife are there out
And
of nowhere.
he feels like he's less of a man because they
Yeah.
see this happen to him.
Like, my kids saw me getting farted on.
And so then a storm hits town, and he feels like he's not a man. And one of his kids left their tiara at their RV that they live in, or their trailer. And so he drives back in the middle of the storm to the RV to get her tiara to prove that he's a man. And he gets caught in the storm. And then you get some Wizard of Oz stuff going on where...
the trailer lands on a bike gang leader.
Yeah. It
And
gets caught
kills
up in a
him.
twister. And then
Yeah,
it
and
lands
it's like
on...
the Wicked Witch of the West or East or whichever one it was.
Yeah.
His feet are sticking out. And then the biker gang is like, oh, you're our new leader.
Because you got the boots.
Yeah, so you tell us what to do now.
Yeah.
So they go into a bar, and David Spade gives them all nicknames.
And says he wants them to do charity work. And he finds out it's 1965 instead of 2015,
Yeah.
which is where he's from. And he's like, that's the year I was born. So yeah, that's when the time travel element gets introduced to this movie. And he basically, throughout the movie, he works his way forward through time, I think, is it?
Yeah, he goes through in real time, but doesn't age.
Oh yeah, because it's all a dream in the end anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Oh,
yeah,
spoilers, man.
we're gonna, I don't care. He works through it in real time, and yeah, I don't want to dwell on every element of the plot.
No, let's
there's some-
go through it super fast. So, biker gang gets mad at him because he wants them to do good work, so they chase him for the entire movie. Whatever happens next, he tries to meet his...
He meets Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, he meets Leonard Skinner before they're Leonard Skinner.
He tries to meet his wife. No, he goes to the town where he met his wife,
Silvertown.
Silvertown, and he doesn't realize that his wife. He doesn't understand the concept that he's in 1965 ever at any point.
Yeah.
He keeps forgetting that he's in the past.
He sees
so
his wife's mom with Sugar Ray.
But he thinks Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. He thinks that his wife's mom is his wife, and he gets
Yeah.
confused. And then he tells her that he's gonna have the mother of his children one day or something. And then he goes off. He has to run away, and he goes off on his own. He at one point he gets on a train somewhere.
And then he has a dream where he meets the Native American guy from the first movie.
the guy who sold fireworks. Yeah,
And he
so
sells drugs now.
It was his friend Kickin' Wing from the first movie, which was a character we didn't talk about. That in his dream, that friend sells drugs now. And then there's a really, this moment broke us.
Yeah.
He has a retort to one of Kickin' Wing's entourage.
Oh my god, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Thug Life meme from 2012, where pixelated glasses would come down from the top frame and Thug Life would appear under the character in like impact font.
They do that in this movie.
That actually happens for real in a movie.
And there's no reason for it to be there.
No, it's not funny.
They did that in editing, I guess.
Yeah.
'Cause it wasn't planned.
That broke me.
They literally just did like a meme edit halfway through the movie. Yeah.
And then somehow he gets stranded on an island for like 15 years.
And wow, how original they do a Castaway joke.
Yeah, a lot of the
football
jokes.
that he names
Wilson.
A
lot of the jokes in this movie are just look at this movie reference.
Yeah.
So he gets stuck on the island, And then he realizes he was in Florida the whole time, and he was just on a beach somewhere, and he didn't bother looking anywhere.
Yeah, he was there for like 12 years, and it's the 70s now.
Yeah, Leonard Skinner's dead. And then he... Oh, God, what happens? I don't even know how he gets back to the present. He meets Christopher... he meets
Christopher...
What's his last name?
Walken.
Okay, Christopher Walken in this movie is the only good part.
Yeah.
If you can find a cut of this movie that is just Christopher Walken scenes, watch it. So he meets Christopher Walken in the past when he was a mob boss, because that's his character's backstory in the first one.
Yeah.
And you get some mafioso stuff. It was great. Like, very funny. Very cool.
Awesome stuff.
Awesome stuff. And then he somehow travels forward in time again. I forget how.
It's just time passes.
Time passes, and he's near the start of the first movie. But remember, the first movie was all flashbacks, so he's near the start of the first movie's flashbacks.
Which is like the 80s,
If you're getting
I think.
confused on the timeline,
They don't even say the years
it's
after the
so
70s.
confusing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I need to meet up with her at the same time I met up with her the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I think there would be another version of him that was like, because that's how time
because in
travel
this universe,
works.
I guess...
He's not the only... Well, never
Who
mind.
cares?
It doesn't matter. He tries to meet his wife. He misses his moment, and Mark McGrath, Sugar Ray, steals her from him,
Yeah.
which is a shame. And then it's like Back to the Future 2, where like once he gets to the future, it's like Biff Tannenized.
It's the bad feature.
But it's Mark McGrath.
Well,
Is there anything else
can we
important
even
that
talk
happened?
about the plane scene?
No, we can't.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
It just... That is what goes into the bad future. There's like a 20-minute bit.
On a plane where he has some toilet trouble, and it's not funny.
But then also he's at the doctor's before the plane.
I thought the doctor's was him waking up from the RV crash. I thought we were finally in reality.
No.
And then I realized
I don't know why that happens, but he goes to the doctor's, gets some work done, goes on a plane, gets in some toilet trouble. This takes like 20 minutes, and then he
he
goes
finds
to
his
the
wife.
bus. No.
Oh,
The bad
you wanna
feature
talk
comes
about
later.
You want to talk about the guardian angel?
Well, because he then goes to the bus stop.
Oh, that's when that
That's
happens.
when he meets up with the framing.
Oh, okay. And then that's when the other framing takes over, kind of, but not really, because
Yeah.
David Spade's still narrating the movie past that point. So then he meets his guardian angel, who is
The leader of the bike gang.
but he was in disguise when he was the leader of the bike
Yeah.
gang. And he's a regular man now. He makes some homophobic remarks, which is very cool, very
joke.
funny, very
His
funny,
entire joke is
Yeah.
just saying that
awesome,
Joe Dirt is gay.
great. That's
Thanks.
comedy.
It's Patrick Warburton.
And that's what
Joe
bothers me
Swanson.
about this movie. Every joke is like the lowest denominator of like who thinks this is funny.
What did they even write this? I feel like they wrote like the plot, but they had no comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like, just come up with something. I don't know, call him gay or something. That's
yeah,
funny.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
No one thinks that's. I don't know. I get if like maybe
bad.
I can understand that like in the 90s, in like a dude bro comedy, like that could be a punchline. It was still a bad punchline.
It wasn't
at
the
the time.
punchline in the first joke there, to be fair.
It was or wasn't.
Wasn't.
Yeah,
like,
it
there was
was
better humor in the first one.
There was better humor, but like they did also make fun of him.
Oh,
for
right.
saying he liked men. It's so. I don't know. It's like we're really past this point. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, when you watch movies from like the 80s or 90s now that make those jokes, it's like that's kind of cringy that everyone thought it was funny. But if you're doing it in 2015, you're just like willfully ignorant, and it's like
David Spade.
I know. It's like, man, you're really stuck in the past. Like
Yeah, really.
clawing your way to try to be relevant again. Like this is painful. Anyways.
Yeah.
He meets his guardian angel. His guardian angel tells him he has a lesson to learn. He sees his wife is kind of coked up and a mess now, and he doesn't learn. He thinks she still needs him to be rich and successful, and they're like, you haven't learned your lesson. And then for no reason he realizes, oh, the lesson the whole time was I should just be happy being who I am because my family already love me as I am. Because this is very It's a Wonderful Life.
Of course, they call it out.
Yeah, and
go,
they
"Oh,
literally say it.
yeah.
And then they're like, you've learned your lesson. And he goes back to the real world where he just passed out in the RV like Wizard of Oz. And he wakes up and his family is happy to see him. But maybe the whole thing was real because
In the
he-
past, he buried some comic books.
some old comic books to try to make money, and he finds the buried comic books from his past
ooh.
adventure. Here's the problem with that, Max.
Yeah.
Everything about the past timeline is so messy and makes no sense. They didn't even have it worked out.
I don't think they cared.
But think about this. When he's
Yeah.
on the bench, right?
Yes.
He says, my daughters always loved when I turned over and made the moo noise, because he gets his kidneys stolen at one point and they leave like one of those cans where
But
when
that's
you
in the
turn it-
dream.
I
right?
understand, but why even in the dream? He hadn't seen his daughters since
So yeah,
so
that line
since
doesn't make
before
sense.
the surgery. So none of it makes sense
Yeah.
at all. Also, the whole bench framing device is within the dream. So really, the only real framing device is the radio host. This movie's a mess.
But also, the radio host isn't real as well.
Oh, because he's in the dream.
Because he's in the dream at one point, and David Spade's next to him.
This movie doesn't work on any level. It's not funny. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have the driving story that you care at all about from the first one.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Oh,
It's
this is a really
genuinely
bad movie.
awful, and I was miserable the whole time.
Yeah.
It's not quite Conehead's bad, where it made me like question everything.
There were some entertainingly bad parts.
Yeah.
Like, of course, the
The
Thug Life.
Thug Life
thing.
was so funny.
There were some parts.
Not
in it, yeah.
intentionally. Let's give it ratings.
0.
0 on everything.
Every scale.
Everything 0.
It's entertaining enough if you like terrible, terrible movies, I feel.
I think it's really hard to sit through, even if you like bad movies.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Well, that's the Sandler films, but you gotta find the gold in the rough with these, you know?
This one had very little gold for the amount of rough you had to sit through.
I think the Thug Life meme,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
It's weird because like I don't know. It doesn't even look good. Like it looks like the budget was like $8.
Yeah, really.
Like the first one looks not bad.
and
There's
the
some
music's
cool
wrong too.
shots.
They play like organ music.
Yeah, they play like synths.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't watch it.
No, don't
Pretend
watch
it doesn't exist.
Yep.
Wipe it from your brain. I wish I could. It sucks. Don't watch Joe Dirt.
Words of wisdom from Jeremy Conte.
Yeah. Let's jump to trivia. Hit me with the trivia.
Okay,
theme.
all right. I have some great trivia for Joe Dirt.
Did you
1.
give the pause for the trivia theme?
No.
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
How long have we been doing this, Max?
I'm sorry. I can't do it. Okay, trivia for Joe Dirt 1.
Oh yeah.
Actually, 2 very interesting pieces of trivia.
Yeah, I want to hear him because you told me you had good stuff, so I didn't look it up.
Yes. So, at one point in Joe Dirt, he gets a list of names that could possibly be his parents of people who were on the tour bus.
Right.
And when he's reading the names on the list, those names are the exact same names that are called up by the teacher in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
I like that because I like Joe Dirt 1, but I know if Joe Dirt 2 did it, I'd be like, shut up, Joe Dirt 2.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not clever.
But Joe Dirt 1, you can
Yeah,
okay, I
good
see
job,
what you're
Joe
doing
Dirt
here.
1. Oh,
That's
little
a fun
wink,
little reference.
little wink and a nod.
Yeah, yeah. And the next little Easter egg of Joe Dirt is when the hot air balloon shaped like a tooth. Remember that?
Oh, God. I do.
it comes off of a building. There's a sign that says Scotch Oil on it.
Yeah.
And Scotch Oil was the name of David Spade's friends. Sorry, was the name of Chris Farley's family oil business in Wisconsin.
Wow.
So that's a little reference right there.
That's interesting. Cool.
And then the best piece of trivia.
Yeah, hit me with it.
On November 29th, 2000, Spade was attacked in his home.
Oh, I read this.
When he was... There's more to it.
Okay.
He was attacked in his home by his assistant, David Warren Skippy Malloy, while he was sleeping.
Yeah, I read this.
Yeah. Malloy physically attacked Spade and used a stun gun on him after breaking into Spade's home in the early morning.
This is terrifying. I feel bad for David Spade
Yeah.
that this happened to him. That's rough.
Spade stated he managed to get away from Malloy, run to his bedroom, grab his gun, and defend himself by locking himself in the bathroom armed with a shotgun.
Yep.
The reason that his assistant did this to him is because he was not cast in Joe Dirt 1.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
He said he was going to cast him in Joe Dirt 1, and he didn't.
And so he was like, I'm going to kill you?
Yeah, so he went to his house and tried to murder him.
Oh my God. Over Joe Dirt.
Imagine that.
I mean, it is great. Joe Dirt 1, fantastic compared to Joe
Yeah.
Dirt 2. That's insane.
So
I can't believe
that might be one of the craziest pieces of trivia we have.
Wow.
Yeah. So over this movie, David Spade was nearly murdered in his sleep.
Wow. I don't have a lot of good trivia on Joe Dirt 2. But I just do have some interesting stuff because I looked at IMDb at the Goofs page because I just wanted to like read some stuff. And it seems like all the goofs that users have left are stupid because it doesn't, like they're wrong. They're not goofs or like they're, let me just read one of them.
Let's see. Give me an example.
So Joe meets Galinda on the bench in present day, then recalls his story. In this story, he ends his journey and meets her for the first time as the story is in his past, finding out that she is a guardian angel. He recognizes her as the woman on the bench, but as this was the first time he had met her, he should have recognized her at the start of the movie as the guardian angel from the past. No, that's not true. Because the bench is before the guardian angel stuff.
Yeah, so they're wrong.
So you're wrong. But I see how you could be confused because this movie's stupid and makes no sense.
Yeah.
2. When Joe
Mama.
When Joe goes to the bathroom on the plane, he gets stuck in the toilet. As he sits down, the toilet makes a flushing suction sound, but his hand never touches the button to flush. Wow.
It's incredible.
3. This is my last one, I promise.
No, these are great.
When Clem, who is Christopher Walken, the mob boss,
yes.
is about to have Joe Dirt whacked, Joe reveals the winners of 1977's Daytona 500. He decides to befriend Joe in hopes that his future predictions of the race winners are correct and true. Since Joe was mostly homeless his whole life, he wouldn't have been able to predict all those future NASCAR races.
Oh, what?
What kind of goof is that?
That doesn't make sense.
Like,
Who
you
put
could've-
these in? Who took the time to type these in?
Yeah, you really thought you got him with that one.
Might be the audience for Joe Dirtè.
0 of
I don't
2
know.
users found that interesting. I just thought that was really
That's
dumb.
some awesome trivia. That's the best one.
There's the Joe Dirt trivia.
Wow.
Hit that Google Reviews theme. Let's do it.
Okay. So here's a review from Nelson. Boy'll have you know this was the best movie I ever did see. So morning, y'all. I always say morning instead of good morning, because if it was a good morning, I would be fishing or riding in my truck. This movie made me crack up like one of those pistachio nuts. Ha 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 ha. Best movie ever. It is so hilarious. I can relate to Joe's life.
That's great.
That's an awesome review. I love that.
Who wrote that? Aaron Sorkin? Oh my god.
No,
that's
Nelson.
Beautiful. Nelson. That's on par with that Joker review that's just like, this happened to my buddy Eric.
Oh,
All right.
that's so good.
I've got a Joe Dirt 2 Beautiful Loser review.
Yes, let's hear it.
This review is from 22KPR KPAR1X Cyberdyne.
He's a legend in the reviewing world.
He said, "Never heard JD2 came out. Got the 2 DVD set at Walmart for $3.74. Congratulations, buddy, on the deal. It is a bit adult vulgar. Not that great, but worth watching during Corona. 3 stars. Everyone's sorry. Everyone is so old, but Brandy is still hot as a buttered biscuit. Woo Lord." Thank you, Cyberdyne.
Awesome. I love all these reviews have like a southern
What did you say?
Sorry,
one more
or whatever
time?
to them.
Southern?
Southern?
Do you mean Southern?
You know, southern.
Okay.
S-O-U, Sal, come on.
Pretty sure it's Southern.
I always say southern.
It's weird. You're a freak,
Well.
ladies. Cut that.
Ladies, you want to hear me say southern?
Well, that was Google reviews. I think we got some good ones there. I'm happy with those.
Yeah, those are awesome reviews.
All right. Is it Sandler time?
Yes.
Hit the theme.
Sandler.
First piece of news today. The Croods 2. The Croods 2 opened in cinemas and limited release because, why would you go see a movie right now when people
Yeah.
are dying? The Croods 2 New Age is out in theaters if you're looking for a new film to watch so you can die.
So you can die?
Well,
Oh,
if you
yeah,
go,
yeah,
If
that's
you go
true,
see
that's
it in theaters, get Corona.
Apparently, audiences didn't care, though.
Audiences didn't care because The Croods 2 is on track to beat Tenet's opening weekend at the box office. Christopher Nolan's Tenet. I love that fact. That is so funny to me.
That is really funny.
I hated Tenet when I watched it this year.
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep. I was so not into it.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious that Christopher Nolan is like, we need to release my movie. I need to save the cinemas. Everyone will come out to support my movie. And then it made like 85 and change.
$80.
Yeah, it made 80 bucks. My buddy Eric saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
But, not many people wanting to go see it. Croods 2, that's what's bringing the people back.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yo, you hear Croods 2 New Age?
I'm
is out?
amazed Croods 2 is making this much money.
Shout out. It's got like an 85 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my god.
Shout out Croods 2, the little underdog
Yeah,
that could.
saving Nicolas Cage's career.
Congrats, Croods 2. Next, we got another piece. Oh, yeah. I don't know if anyone has seen this. Clifford the Big Red Dog, the live-action film, released some footage and behind-the-scenes photo this week. And it's like a Lovecraftian nightmare.
The behind-the-scenes pictures are so scary. Yeah.
The one, the like stand-in they're using for Clifford is like this giant red abomination.
What can we tell people to look up to find this picture?
I just look up Clifford BTS. Is there a BTS song called Clifford? That would be funny.
Maybe. I guess just look up Clifford behind the scenes.
Yeah,
or
you'll
BTS
find
or
it.
whatever.
You'll
It'll
find
pop
it.
up. You'll know what we're talking about. It looks like a demon skeleton dog.
So funny.
Like,
Also-
standing next to the human actors.
Also, I don't want to get in on criticizing Clifford too much, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. In the trailer for the movie, Clifford is like sizably larger than the other dogs.
That is the point of Clifford. That's that astute observation.
Thank you. I really.
That's our trivia for Clifford.
That one took me a while to piece together. No, I was gonna say.
Sorry, you were saying, yeah.
I was gonna say, Clifford is bigger, but he's like a puppy. Like the dog that plays him is clearly a puppy.
Yeah,
not a
that's right. Well, they
full-grown
need to
dog.
make him cute so the audience is
But
buy
in
merch.
Clifford lore, and I researched this to double check to make sure because I saw it in a tweet and it sounded right, and it is true. Clifford lore, he was a normal sized puppy, but then when he grew into his
Yeah, that's
full
right,
sized
that's
dog,
right.
he became large. So they made Clifford thick too young. That's hashtag Clifford too thick too young.
Yeah,
Get that trending.
the name of the sequel, Clifford 2.
Too thick. I am not excited for this movie. It's probably gonna be garbage, but you
It
know
probably
maybe
will.
they'll
I used to watch Clifford.
maybe they'll surprise us. You know, I love warm-hearted kids movies like Paddington. So let's hope it's more Paddington and less say Marmaduke. But we'll see.
Or Tom and Jerry.
I haven't seen the trailer for Tom and Jerry. Does it look good? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it looks like it came out in like 2002.
Great.
That's it.
Super excited for that. What else we got? Kevin James has a new Netflix show coming out that we haven't talked about yet on
Oh,
the
we
podcast.
didn't talk about that.
No, we didn't talk about
Yeah.
The Crew.
The Croods too.
No, I
The
wish.
Crude.
The Crew is a Kevin James NASCAR Happy Madison co-production where Kevin James runs a pit crew for a NASCAR team, and I'm really excited. I can already picture it in my head. I know exactly what it's
Yeah.
going to be.
Oh, it's the most predictable show of all time.
It's a
Absolutely.
10-episode sitcom. You're gonna have some. I bet we're gonna have some zany characters in the
Yeah.
pit crew. We're gonna have an old timer who thinks he knows better than Kevin
It's
James.
like the crazy old timer.
Yeah. You're gonna have the young upstart who's so idealistic.
The love interest.
The love
for
interest.
Kevin James.
Yeah, love interest for Kevin James. Probably gonna be on opposing pit crew. Let's not lie to ourselves.
Mm.
But there's gonna be two young people with the love interest on the show because Kevin James is like the mentor,
Right.
like a Jim and Pam kind of.
Okay.
I'm really excited. Let's watch the crew.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to watch it for this show.
Oh, I can't wait to watch The Crew.
We're gonna watch it all in 1 week, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh
We
God.
have to- it's like 10 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be. That should be fun.
So look forward to the crew. It's racing on to streaming services February 2021, I think it is.
I don't know.
It's soon. It's coming
Yeah.
up. I'm excited. There's a great motion poster on Twitter if you can find it.
Can't wait for that.
Do we have any more movie news to discuss?
No.
Oh boy, this is a short episode.
Yeah. Wait. How much?
We're probably at like 32
Oh.
minutes.
35. No, bro. That's all right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm fine with this because we're not going to overtalk because we don't have anything to talk about. The one thing I want to say is write into us if you want us to watch the Princess Switch because I'm trying to convince Max to do
No,
a
what?
princess.
No.
To do a princess.
No, actually,
Switch.
don't write in. I don't
I
care
wanna
about
do a
the
Princess
like.
Switch
It's
double
not even
feature.
gonna be. It's not even gonna be funny.
I want to do a Princess Switch double feature
No!
for the podcast.
No.
So anyways, time to spin the wheel.
What?
Just
Where'd the wheel
kidding.
go?
Just kidding. The wheel's gone.
Oh my God! It left.
The wheel took a break, and also we took
The
a break.
wheels. The wheels kind of been burning out lately.
We haven't been happy with the wheel because it gave us 4 double features in a row. I think I'm exhausted of watching all this content.
Yeah.
So we're taking a break from the wheel deciding our fate, just for one special episode next week.
That's right. We're gonna
We've picked a special movie that we chose. Max, you wanna?
Well, let's say we didn't choose it. Let's say the holiday spirit chose it for us.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are watching 8 Crazy Nights, the Adam Sandler animated film about Hanukkah. If you're not familiar,
First animated film.
is it his only? That
Hotel
he's produced.
Transylvania.
I know, but that he's produced.
Oh, did he produce this?
Yeah, it's like fully. It's based on the Hanukkah song, which is like his first like
Oh, I
big
didn't
thing
even know
on
it was based on
SNL.
Yeah, this is the Hanukkah movie.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I've been wanting to watch this for a long time.
Oh my god, I just looked up something.
What?
Rob Schneider plays two characters in this movie. He is the narrator,
Oh,
and he plays a Chinese waiter, which I'm sure will be
the character name is Chinese waiter.
I'm
yeah,
sure
this,
that will
this
be
is gonna end
handled
awesome.
with respect and cultural sensitivity. I don't think there's gonna be anything wrong with it, knowing our good old pal Rob Schneider.
No, this will be great.
Oh, also one final note. I need to issue an apology to Adam Sandler's wife because I called her the wrong name for like 3 weeks in a row.
Oh yeah.
She's not Jennifer Schwalbach. That's Kevin Smith's wife. Her name's Jackie Sandler. My bad.
Ah,
Doesn't sound like a real person, but
Jack and Jill.
exactly.
She's named after Jack and Jill.
Look forward to our 8 Crazy Nights review next week as we get into the holiday spirit. It
The
will
Hanukkah
be December.
spirit.
Yeah. I just rebooted.
So light those candles, gamers.
Not all at once, I don't think. I don't think you're supposed to do that. We need to do some research on Hanukkah before we.
It's the
Go
8
anywhere
crazy
near this.
nights of Hanukkah.
Yeah,
You light a candle every night. I think.
I'm really
You
excited.
spin your dreidel.
Let's be careful,
That's what I sang songs about
Max.
spinning
I'm
dreidels
getting.
as a
I
child.
think you're tiptoeing on some thin ice.
Okay, all right.
Anyways, I'm excited.
Yep.
Uh,
Can't wait for that.
We'll see you guys next week. It's gonna be December. Maybe it'll be a little winter spirit. Maybe we'll have a little wintry theme going
some
on.
jingle bells.
Some
in the
jingle
theme.
bells. So yeah, thank you so much. Oh God.
Oh my God, are you dying?
Yeah.
Okay, well we better end it fast before you pass away.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Sandler Files.
Jeremy, no.
I've been Jeremy Conte.
And I've been Max Dreesen.
If you want to find us, you can find us on Twitter at the Sandler Files. I'm at jconte1 on Instagram.
And I'm at MaxTracks2001 on Instagram.
That's Tracks with an X, just like his name Max. It's very clever.
I'm so smart, guys.
Dude, you're so funny.
Can we hit like 1 million likes on this episode, please, just because of how smart I am?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week with 8 Crazy Nights. Please don't watch Joe Dirt and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Yay.